Greetings, friends, and welcome to the first episode of the Federation's Most Wanted, a new Blake 7 podcast. I'm the Preacher 711. You may know me from Blake 7 Gaming over the decades, and I'm going to be seeking, locating, and interviewing friends and fans from across the Blake 7 fansphere about what it is they love about the show, why all these decades on we're still talking about it and still enjoying it. And today, joining me around the Gouda Prime campfire for a nice slice of undercooked squirrel, is a guy I know well from his really cool YouTube series, The Show. It's Quod Matter. Quad, welcome, sir.
Hello, thank you for having me on.
No problem at all, my friend. So, firstly, before we launch into Blake 7, The Show, your YouTube series, tell us a bit about that.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so pretty much it came about as a sort of abstract idea that myself and my friend Fraz came up with and thought, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? So about 6 years of development go by, and then it's like 2020 comes around, we go, yeah, we want to do this. So we started it. COVID wasn't helpful, which I guess that's kind of expected.
Yeah,
Like we started it for a laugh, and it's a series about six or so people, six or so Egypts attempting to survive while a corrupt television company and several other people are poking and prodding them to try and get viewership for their crappy reality TV show. And in this place called the Beta Realm. And it's so much fun to do. There's absolutely no budget, as you would probably expect with any YouTube series. And I'm surprised it's kind of picked up the way that it has, because I was expecting that it would only be me and the other members of the cast would watch it. But no, it's a fun little thing. I'd recommend people watch it just so
the link in the description.
I can write more episodes.
But I mean, for those that haven't seen it, there's a brilliant, the last episode, or the last one that's come up at the time of recording of this. You did a brilliant piece where you played like the two main characters of the show. So it was one of those classic, like you acting against yourself ones, which was brilliant.
And it's one with a really dodgy British accent as well. Yeah. The point was it was meant to be dodgy because with the character in question, this guy called Omega, I wanted to make it very, very clear that this guy was incredibly shady. So first and foremost, in the Avon sense, he dresses entirely in black, which immediately you look at him and you go, "Oh no!" You're like, no. But then you hear the voice and you go, "Yeah, that's fake." So everything about this man, I wanted to scream, "This guy's not right. This guy is really, really off." So yeah, the dodgy British accent was part of that.
So as a viewer, I've got to ask before we leap onto the Blake 7, is will Omega come back? Because I really like
he will. Don't worry.
Good.
He's gonna become like a recurring joking villain type thing, yeah.
Well, like I say, do check it out, guys, out there, because I loved everything about him. I loved his look, his hat, his way of speaking, his little mannerisms. Yeah, he was definitely
don't worry,
cool.
You'll be seeing more of them soon. Yes,
brilliant. He was great. It's just I mean, people can't see us because the video won't be on this, but I'm a handsy talker anyway, so I was like, oh, I like this guy's got style. I can definitely relate to him. Yeah. So here we go, my friend. We're gonna dive into a bit of Blake 7, and to warm you up, I'm gonna ask, how and when did Blake 7 come into your life?
So Blake 7 came into my life around March, April of 2021. Because for a bit of context, I had been going through a particularly nasty sort of falling out with a friend, and things were not exactly in a great position, and I needed something to sort of take my mind off things. And that's when a friend that we both know called Rushy, shout out to him, by the way, sort of tapped me metaphorically on the shoulder and went, "Oi, so there's this thing I've been watching and been posting GIFs and edits of for a while. I've been asking you to watch this. Will you do it?" And I went, okay, sure. Almost out of, it's an obligation. I might as well watch it. And then I enjoyed it. And I went, oh no, he's going to want... I watched the first one. I watched the way back because somebody had graciously uploaded it to YouTube. The upload has now been taken down by the powers that be. Thank you, Beeb. Very cool. And I just kind of kept watching from there. I got DVDs. I watched the whole thing because I don't have access to BritBox. Very sad. But I watched all of those, and it really sort of perked up my spirits because I went from a really bad place in my life to a really good place in my life because here is this show I enjoy watching. Oh, very good. And of course, it influenced the show later on. Sorry
Oh
for
wow.
what I'm doing on camera here. You can't see. I have a problem with my hair. It doesn't want to stay still.
At least you've
No,
got
but
it to
anyway.
do that with, my friends. That's
Oh well.
brilliant. You know,
But
I love the idea of the healing power of Blake Seven. That's one I've not had before. That's awesome. So when you worked your way through it, I'm going to ask next. You know, what series are you? What series A to D do you identify with most or enjoying the most?
people are going to be annoyed when I say it's Series D. Okay, there's a reason for that. Now, the thing with it being, I liked A to C, not C nearly as much. Guy Kings, if you're listening to this, I do apologize for that statement. But no, C had kind of the problem I had with Series C was, and this is a very controversial opinion, and I'm probably going to get a lot of people having a go at me for this, but half of it I just didn't take to. The first half I didn't take to at all, with the exception of Aftermath. The second half I really took to, and then Series D was just fun, except for anything written by Ben Steed. That man angers me. But no, Series D for the win.
And again, everyone can't see me on the video there, but I'm thumbs upping that. I'm a Series D fan guy too. So
yes,
gonna...
Series D fans rise up.
Yeah, there's not many of us. We need to unite and form a collective while we still can. So then next one is Team Blake or Team Avon. What are you?
Okay, so obviously when I started watching, I was completely Team Blake because as much as I mean in the Series A first watch through, I liked Avon a lot because I liked just his entire personality, but Blake was the one because he was the leader. I naturally trusted him more. By the time it got to like the middle of Series B, I was like, nah, Team Avon. And all the way to the end, it's Team Avon. It has to be Team Avon for me. Purely because he's just more interesting. Sorry, Blake fans.
That's fair. It's fair enough. There's no wrong answers here, mate. It's all about your opinion. All about. I'll go Avon as well. Anyway, I'm going to whisper that one. So I'm going to say now, favorite episode, and you can divide this up any way you want. You know, an episode you love because it's the best one, or an episode that makes you feel good. You know, go to comfort one. But if I say favorite episode, where does your mind go?
There are three that stick out to me. It's the sort of the top. I'll go from third place to first. Third place is gold because where else, it has to be in the top 10, it has to be in the top 5 because I mean it's just fun. You stick that on, you watch it, and you just have a good time. Like if ever I needed any sort of, if I was in a low mood or something like that, mentioned the healing power of Blake 7, you stick on gold, you're gonna have a good time. Just above that is Gambit for very, very obvious reasons. I mean, do I need to go into detail about that?
Do though. Go on, give some Gambit highlights.
All right, for me, the highlight of it is Robert Holmes's very strange pairing of Avon and Villa. Now, I say strange because, as we've seen, like every other writer, Avon hates Villa's guts. Bob Holmes comes in, it's like the dream team right here. It's like, why? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a funny pairing, but at the same time, it's a bit confusing. Obviously, all their shenanigans, shrinking Aurak, definitely the stuff with definitely the Elizabeth Parker chess theme that plays when they're playing the game. That is a peak music scoring right there. Probably everything with Toys. I thought he was my favorite character in it. He was great. And weirdly enough, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Travis, but Travis in Gambit is great. Just the way that he interacts with people, and Crouch's delivery of "Oh yes, I'm a hero too" always never fails to make me smile. It's like, yes, Chad Travis material right there. But it has to be the moment that just every single time I watch it gets me is when Avon and Villa have hurried back up to the Liberator and they have to pretend that everything's fine when Blake, Callie, and Jenna come back, and Blake looks at them suspiciously. It's just that look Gareth Thomas does of,
Yeah,
wait a minute, what were you up to?
yeah, that's
But
brilliant.
number one for me, top Blake Seven. I mean, I like the finale Blake, great, but has to be Terminal.
Mm,
Absolutely has to be Terminal.
okay.
Um, I wouldn't say it's the better ending by any amount, but I'd say Blake is better as an ending. Terminal is better as an episode, if that makes
Mm,
any sense at all. Like Blake feels incredibly final. It absolutely makes sense to be the finale of the series. Terminal is very open-ended, although that kind of goes with Terry Nation's age-old sort of belief that you have to keep everything there just in case it comes back, even if it's not going to come back. But like it's got all the great moments in it, like Zen finally showing his personality. Avon has so many good things to do. It is a real character piece for him. The little scene we have with Blake is brilliant. I just love it. And the interactions with the rest of the cast, especially the moment where they're on the flight deck and Avon pulls out the gun and holds it at Tarrant's
mm,
ribs. You get the shot. You don't see the gun, and then Tarrant looks down,
yeah.
and then you see it. I mean, you would expect a Dudley Simpson crash at this point, so dun dun, but no, there's nothing. It's more dramatic because there's no music. You just sort
Absolutely.
of look at Avon like, oh God, you okay, whoa, okay, you feel very strong about this, you know. It's great. It's just a
Yeah.
great time, a great experience. I really enjoy it.
I've always thought myself after that. I love that bit, the bit you've called out with the handgun.
Oh,
For all
it's
the
so
reasons
good.
you've said, it's brilliant. But I've always felt that, like, for me, that moment marks a change in the Avon Tarrant dynamic. Because then when you watch
Yeah,
all the series D, he's then Tarrant's clearly clocked that this guy will plug me. You know, it's not just now all
yeah,
that machoing of sort of Series C. You know, suddenly it's
yeah.
real, and he backs down a lot easier.
He like
So I've always
backs
liked that.
off. He's just sort of like, oh
Yeah,
hey. I
yeah,
don't want to be shot. All right, don't you be
absolutely.
doing this to me. I don't need
Absolutely.
it.
So I've always loved it. So flip side question, least favorite or favorites?
Okay, the it shouldn't surprise you given the comment I made about him earlier that the Ben Steed trilogy is bottom three for me, right? Okay. I have many issues with Ben Steed, and his politics isn't just the only one.
Mm.
I didn't find his episodes particularly engaging or interesting. I can just hear Rushy screaming at me from the other side of the screen, like, you can't say that. Because I've had debates with him. He runs this blog called Surviving Blake
Mm.
7, and I've
It
made a
does.
little side tangent here. And I've made this little series where I record myself reading what he's written and adding my own commentary to kind of be like, don't agree with you on this point, and this point.
Mm.
And he genuinely he enjoys it. He took it in good favor. But when I mentioned that I didn't like the Ben Steed episodes, he went on something of a little rant to me about how
Wow.
there's all these cool ideas and things in it, like the lunar module. And I said to him in a later recording, and this really ticked him off. Part of me feels like they just found the lunar module in the BBC effects department and went, let's put this in the script because it's here. And he was so angry. But no, Ben Steed trilogy, I really don't like. Power has to be the bottom. It's the bottom of the barrel. Okay, that's the worst one. If you were to take those aside, put them aside. Say they don't count for a minute. You can't just put those three at the bottom. This is a really contentious one, but the web, I have
Mm.
had I've had real problems with the web.
Okay.
Not just because of how it looks. How it looks, I mean, you can forgive that. It's BBC budget, but there's just bits and pieces of it where I remember sitting watching this going, what am I looking at here? What huh? Huh? What? But then it probably shouldn't surprise you if I said voice from the past. I mean,
Mm.
it's the one everybody loves to hate. It's like Blake's not his finest hour. I'm trying to think of what the opposite would be. His senior moment, let's say. Uh, I mean, I never thought, like, after seeing The Way Back, I loved all the stuff with Van Glind. I never thought when I'd see him again, I would actively want him to leave.
Oh.
This is going to
Brilliant.
be very controversial, and I love it.
God, you're really. I love the fact that we're launching the series with you just queuing up,
It's me just going,
queuing up.
this is how it is.
Why not? Controversy breeds interest. Let's go.
Let's
I'm here for
go.
this.
Interesting
So
talking points in
going to
the
ask you
comments.
to press the controversy button maybe again on the
Oh,
next
here we
one and
go.
go Liberator or Scorpio.
It is a very, very basic answer, but Liberator. I'm sorry, Scorpio. I mean, I like Slave as much as the next man. Yes, master. I am very glad. I'm very, very proud of the fact that my illustrious master has given me praise. No, but I like Slave as much as the next guy, but Zen is just a cooler machine.
Right? Do
The
you know what?
aesthetic,
After
I
your
just
other answer, I didn't imagine this. This has surprised me. Cool.
this is a big surprise. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm very strange when it comes to opinions. But no, I love the aesthetic of the Liberator, to be honest. It's just a cool looking ship inside and out. The teleport, that teleport is iconic. That
Mm,
teleport effect is just beautiful.
absolutely.
Yeah, it has to be the Liberator all the way.
Liberator all the
It's
way.
just better to me.
Brilliant. And okay, this one may be less controversial, but still a divisive.
Ooh.
Travis 1 or Travis 2?
Travis one. I enjoy Travis too. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy Travis too. There are some moments where he's just, no matter how they try to write him, that he just will never not be funny to me. Gambit is his magnum opus, I have to say. He
Mm.
is on fine form in Gambit. Like, especially with how he treats Servalan and all that. I remember watching that thinking, yes, Travis, let's go. You know, like really sort of Team Travis type thing. But I just had much more of I could take Travis one seriously, if that makes any sense.
Mm.
Like I the thing with it is the way he's a very efficient officer. I mean, there's moments like Project Avalon that comes to mind where when Blake returns, instead of panicking, like, oh no, the plan has failed, Travis is like, no, no, I'll deal with this. You stay here. I'll get the prisoner. Stay, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
He's very efficient. You can kind of believe that this guy was in the military. You get the sense that this is a man who's been through training. He knows what to do. He absolutely can command. And he just looks like a badass, if I can
Mm.
say that. Um, he's just is on fan form there. It's a very narrow margin you got to understand. Like Travis one would be like sort of 51%, Travis two is 49. It's like
Oh,
that
it
kind of
is
thing.
close.
It's almost 50-50 because I could go with either. I remember, funny enough, showing Travis one and Travis two to somebody out of context, and they went, "Why is Travis two funnier?" And I went, "That's just the direction they went."
Fair enough, sir. Fair enough.
I can understand why lots of people like Travis too, to be honest. I don't have exactly the same admiration.
Mm. Okay then. So it's a dark down Gouda Prime, right? There's gunfire and death going all around, bodies on the floor. But who actually survived in your mind? In your head canon,
Villa.
did anybody? It's going straight in.
Villa. Now, the reasoning given afterlife makes quite a lot of sense to me. Villa's mindset of I want to live forever or die trying
Mm.
doesn't really, I mean, he has that mentality throughout. You can definitely see that. So him just casually standing up and allowing himself to be shot doesn't seem right to me. That doesn't make sense. So the idea that he sort of got up, pretended to, fall backwards and hit the deck, and then possibly escape while all the bodies are being taken away, that makes more sense to me. And also it'd be a nice little I kind of feel like Avon's story wraps up with
Mm.
Blake, He's already gone past the insanity point of no return. So by the time Blake comes, there's an irony there that I don't think a lot of people have ever really picked up on. One of his first lines is when he was asked about how he got arrested was that he relied on other people.
Mm.
So how does he go? Well, he relied on other people to get him there, and look what happened.
Mm.
Lightning strikes twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It sort of ties itself up in a bow. I think that's beautiful end to Avon's story. So when I read Lucifer and found out that Avon survived, I was just sort of like, why? Why?
Mm.
Don't get me wrong. I thought we might actually get into that if we have time.
No, go for
Lucifer
it.
Afterlife. Let's run.
You've opened the Lucifer door now, my friend. It cannot be shut. Come on, let it all out. Let it flow.
Mm.
Mm.
I don't know what to say there.
Okay, so I'll dive onto something else then,
Okay.
which is so we've talked about the end of the show and all that lot, and lots of people have wishes about it continuing, being remade, rebooted, sequels, whatever.
Yeah.
But what's your Blake Seven wish? What isn't out there that you'd like out there? Is it a bit of merch? Is it a sequel, like I say, a reboot or whatever? But if I was to be able to grant you a single Blake Seven shaped wish, what would it be?
Action figures is what I would want. Because just have like, I mean, I know there was a wee corgi liberator, the wee small one, but no, have like one that was like, you know how when they make things like the Millennium Falcon, they make this huge big thing. Make one of the liberator, make a scale Scorpio to size. So you've got liberators like this size and Scorpio's like that big. But no, have action figures of the characters because I would really love that. Just have them alongside my Doctor Who ones. I'd be like, yes,
Nice.
my collection is complete.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've
I
been
love
nodding
that.
away to that one. I'll totally go with that. But when people do talk about this whole, oh, I'd love a reboot, I'd love whatever. Are you a pro reboot or a sequel or just leave it alone?
I honestly think you should just leave it alone, because it should stand for itself. But if you were to do some kind of new Blake Seven thing, I would prefer if it was a sequel. I don't want a reboot because I mean I think Making Blake Seven put it best when he posted a thing where he said, "I just hope they don't do a sequel. All the casting decisions people have said haven't been great." And he posted an image of Neil Patrick Harris mouthing suicide. And it's just sort of like, yeah, no, yeah, I follow that. I follow that. I don't think, honestly, I don't think the thing with it would be if they were to reboot it, they'd have to put marketable actors in it, as per what the BBC tends to do. They wouldn't really do what they did in the 70s and take a risk with people that nobody had potentially heard of, if you know what I mean. It would just sort of be the all-star Blake Seven show, as opposed to a proper reboot of the good show from the 70s and the early 80s. I mean, and plus we already had the reboot, remember, on audio.
Mm.
And that only lasted, what, 3 episodes or something like that? And then a load of prequel stuff. So no, I wouldn't want a reboot. I'd want a sequel of some sorts. As for what that would contain, I don't know. I have
Since
no
you
idea.
opened the door, my friend, I'm gonna pursue you on, Afterlife or Lucifer. Then, which if we've got to pick one, what
Ooh,
was the
okay.
reason?
So Afterlife has this really annoying moment about halfway through it, and then the story goes off the rails, in my opinion, which is the moment when they go to Scat, lovely planet name, by the way,
Mm.
and they go through the white hole. That was the moment where I went, wait, huh? Then you have Avon piloting terminal like the Daleks wanted to do with the Earth and Daleks'
Mm.
invasion of Earth. And it's like, huh? What? And then there's the bit of there's just the entirety of chapter 13. If you've read it, you know what I mean.
Hmm.
I don't need to explain. Also, Atwood did Tarrant dirty with the
Yeah.
bringing him back from the dead, writing him tremendously, and then killing him off. It's like, what? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you bring my hopes up like that? Tarrant's great. Why would you do this to me? Um, Lucifer. Well, the thing with Lucifer is that the first book is strange. The last book, oh, we don't need to talk about the last book. We don't need to talk about the last book. Can we not? Can we not do that? Can we not do that? I probably will talk about it in a minute. Damn. But the second book is what redeems it. Revelation, in my opinion, is actually probably Darrow's magnum opus. It's like his best written work, which isn't saying much when you consider when you consider a terrible aspect. So probably Lucifer only for Revelation,
Yeah.
just for Revelation.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. yeah, I'm not going to go into my views on it here, but I'm totally with you. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, as a wee boy, I was so excited for Afterlife when Afterlife was announced. Back in the
Mm.
day, there was no internet back then. I pre-ordered my copy from my local WH Smiths, saved up my little golden coins of pocket money. Got it on the Saturday, brought it home, read it end to end in one little sitting, and like you say, it started off so well. By the end, it kind of went off a massive, massive tangent. And I think my problem with the Lucifer ones has always been, I don't know, just Darrow tends to throw stuff in that just doesn't fit with the world of Blake
Yeah.
Seven as we know it. Kind of his description of the Federation, how it functions, is not the one we saw in the show, really. And
My sort of way around that was I sort of went, okay, I know he's changed lots of aspects of continuity of canon and things like that. I'm just going to do the old Marvel joke and pretend it's another universe, right?
cool, yeah,
Pretend it's parallel, which made it much easier to follow, in my opinion, because you got different history and all that.
that makes sense.
The less said about a terrible aspects, twin-bladed knives with serrated edges.
God, you're opening all the doors, my friend. I wasn't even going to go there. I wasn't even going to acknowledge it. I was just, that was one of those bad dreams I surely had one night after too much cheese.
You just pictured Carabon kicking in your door with the twin-bladed knives and serrated edges.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you, this isn't the start of the series I imagined, my friend. You've opened the scary
Oh no,
door
I'm so
repeatedly.
sorry.
That's all right. But look, I've got to say, mate, we are kind of at time. Zoom's moaning at me and telling me off. So I just want to say 1,000 thank yous for being the first one on. I love what you do on the Twitter. Keep us up with the show. Let us know how it goes, and hopefully we'll
Thank
have
you
you
very
back
much.
again
Will
in the
do.
future. So, thank you, my friends. Thank you for hopefully listening. We hope this has worked out well. There will be more coming very, very soon. We've got a few people lined up in the queue, hopefully before Christmas. And then after Christmas, if everyone's still keen, we'll be reaching out to more and more people. So, thank you, my friends. Do like, share, subscribe, and all that. And do look at the link to Quads, the show, down in the comments. Cheers. Bye bye.